Yo, what is up, my dudes? I'm back with another video. I am going to tell you guys about one of the fanfics that I made that I put a lot, and I mean a lot, of soul and passion into. This one I've got criticized for but another friend who criticizes all my work, so I don't really care. This one is called The Inverse Express, and this was actually inspired by one of the musics that I listened to on Mario Party Island Tour that reminds me of one of the Polar Express themes that I began to realize, hey, that would be a really good idea for a story. So I called this fanfic The Inverse Express, where it's like a polar opposite version of the Polar Express, basically, and where instead of actually magical things, actually good things happening, magical bad stuff actually happens. And basically, I will go into the actual story as I go into the actual fanfic. So Mana was actually thinking the night before Christmas, basically Christmas Eve. She was thinking about the urban legend of the Inverse Express, where her people, where females are actually taken aboard the train against their will, and they are ard. And I would say the actual word, but I can't, lest my channel would get taken down, or my video would actually get taken down, I mean. So, I can't say the actual word, as it's, you know, it's pretty obvious what it is. So these people, are actually ard, taken, aboard the train by the conductor guy, and then they, are never heard from again, basically. And eventually that night, Mana wakes up, actually, and hears the train, and sees the purple light of the train light, and actually falls unconscious. Upon awakening in this freaking train, yes, she was actually taken aboard it. She finds other female passengers, and they are, and some of them are asleep, and some of them are actually awake, like her. Upon waking up, she wonders where she actually is. And a black woman, to Mana's right, actually says, well, isn't it obvious? It's the Inverse Express, and basically, the conductor actually has been taking of females on this train, and actually they are ard, and to never be seen from again, basically. And upon hearing this, Mana was like, okay, well, screw this, might as well try to get off. But this is where the scene was mostly hopeless for that other passenger, as she said, well, it's actually no use, because the conductor guy, which I actually had used the bus driver from Rosario, plus vampire, as what the conductor looked like, which is actually pretty creepy and stuff, with glowing white eyes, white eyes with the basic blue typical conductor gear basically, and upon hearing this, and upon hearing the backstory of the train, which, let me just say this, these were not the only victims. There were thousands upon millions of other females who were actually tortured or ard, and actually some of them actually tried to actually jump off of the train or fight back, to no avail, because when they would try to run, the conductor would actually press one of the buttons at the control panel, and then the light, which was magical, would actually make them disappear and then appear on the train as if they had never left their seat. Mind you, running was useless and fighting was also useless against this conductor guy, because he was just, I made him nearly invincible, basically. So, upon hearing that upon hearing this Mana retaliates, being her own feisty self, and this is where the conductor guy actually summons these purple tentacle things, which is ironic, because the second that I saw them in the first Demon Slayer movie, I thought, oh man, this is just like my Inverse Express fanfic. But the tentacles actually began to actually choke Mana, and then the conductor guy, he actually teleports her to him, and they basically fight each other, which it's not pretty much of a really boss fight, because Mana just gets one shot by the conductor, and then he, literally being a freaking sadist, basically, he art her, basically, not in a really, it was not a pleasant sight, I will tell you that. I can't really go into any details, because, again, it's too graphic, and I can't go into that. If I could, I would. So, I can't do that. Guys, and upon this, basically, Mana actually accepts her fate, and is seemingly taken by the conductor, and actually goes off into the darkness to seemingly never be seen again with every one of those other victims, until my second chapter. Of course, there is actually another part to this, but due to time constraints, I will not get into that chapter today. Probably tomorrow or so stay tuned for that. But yeah, this one ish, I actually put ish a bunch of soul and effort, ish, and passion into it, because I went in to the details with what the conductor looked like from the story to even the train's backstory, mind you. To mainly make it almost feel like a hopeless situation towards the end, which I put a lot of soul and passion into this one, in particular. But yeah, until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for the final chapter of this one, guys. But peace out.